Hi, welcome to Nevada Matters Media. I am Debbie McCarthy. You are listening to 99.1 FM Fox News Radio. I am lucky and blessed to be in Burbank, California, my hometown, and I am interviewing my friend, fashion mogul, fashion designer, Ronnie Bogle of Nigel Who. Ronnie, welcome for
Thank
being
you.
here.
I'm
You know
so
what?
honored to be
You
here.
have an amazing story to share with the world, okay? And this is your chance. And you want to no holds barred, right?
Right.
You do?
Nothing held back.
I know. So, with that said, the question, I know you're not going to answer it in full, and I understand that.
Right.
But how did Ronnie Bogle, you, fashion designer extraordinaire, how did you come up with Nigel Who? I know it's the question. Can you give us just a taste
A
of
little
it?
taste.
A taste before I go into everything else.
It is the biggest question of my long and lucky career that everyone has always asked me the most, and it's the one secret that I will always keep closest to my heart and never share with anyone else other than Nigel, but I will give you a little bit
Okay,
of a something,
tiny,
a little
tiny,
tiny. I was in a very seedy bar, fun bar, when I was in college, actually, at the University of Alabama.
Okay, I like that.
And I was already about to move out to San Jose, California to go to graduate school, and I knew that I was going to become a fashion designer. When I moved to San Jose, I was going to start my label. And we were all getting ready to send me off. We were celebrating. It was my final party, and someone across the bar said, "Hey, look, he's going to be a fashion designer in California." And I said, "Yeah." And someone else said, "What you going to name it?" And I never really thought about,
Yeah,
let's not
okay.
name my label Ronnie Bogle. It doesn't have a lot of feel to it. So someone said, "Well, what do you like? What's your favorite name?" And I said, "Well, I like Nigel." And someone behind me said, "Well, who's Nigel?" I knew instantly it was Nigel.
Okay, you just gave it up. You do know that, right?
But there's
you
a
gave it
much
up.
bigger, deeper Nigel.
Okay, I know.
That's
you,
very
okay,
connected.
but you shared a moment, okay, of your time. So as a child, okay, I need to know because we all have beginnings and we all learn and live through things.
Right.
So as a child, did you know you wanted to be a fashion designer as a child, or did you wait till you went to college and you were in the community? What made Ronnie know you wanted to be a fashion designer?
Sure. I knew I wanted to be something creative. From the very first memories that I have as a child, I was always doing really creative things. I was cutting and sewing and building and painting and drawing and making things. But I was actually born in Alabama in a really small farm town. There was one traffic light.
One.
I kid you not,
I
one
can relate to
traffic
that.
light in my small town. So I used resources that I had on our farm to grow up, to be creative with.
Okay.
So I've always kind of made that a part of what I am. It's take things that are really different and create and make art pieces with it. So as a child, no, not necessarily a fashion designer, and not really even through high school. But when I got to college and I was
Okay.
studying fine art at the University of Alabama,
Okay.
I got really into wearable art. I love the idea of my art being worn on the body. And then when I decided to go to graduate school, I just decided to really go for it and become a fashion designer. So it was a kind of a transition from childhood all the way up to when I left for
Okay, but
college.
you say wearable art, okay? Are you talking body paints? What are you talking wearable
you're
art?
wearing now.
Okay,
What you're
everybody,
wearing
I gotta
now.
say, those of you who are watching the video, you get to see this amazing dress. If you're listening, you will see our photos posted on Facebook probably today and for months to come. But this dress is a very special dress. And Nigel, I want you to share what this dress meant to you, and I'm honored with my whole heart to be wearing it. So share about the dress.
Sure.
It means a lot to you.
And you look gorgeous, by the way. Totally beautiful. When I was in fashion, I was very, very lucky. I've had a very, very fortunate career. I got my graduate degree. The next day, I had a show after I graduated and for my master's degree, and that show was my thesis. So I worked 25 years in fashion, and then I retired 5 years ago. I was really, really long, laborious work hours. I was really drained. I felt like Nigel had done enough. We'd ran its course, so I retired. And then in the process of that retirement, I lost several people in my family that were very close.
We're gonna go into
and,
that.
And I've always used my work as a cathartic kind of statement that I wanted to, you know, make for not only for myself to work through those pain and loss, but I wanted to actually use that creativity and share with others. So, to make a very long story short about the dress that you're wearing, this dress is inspired by my mom. The collection that I came back out of fashion with last July 9th, I worked 2 years on it during my retirement. I was really inspired by my childhood in Alabama,
Yes.
when I was using all the different materials that were very, you know, not necessarily for fashion. And I was always inspired by quilting. I remember my aunts and my great aunts would all get swatches of fabric and sew them and put them together and make these amazing quilts. So that was the inspiration that I came up with for my comeback collection
That's
for the
kinda
women's wear.
pieced
So this
together.
idea
I love
is simple cotton, and it's swatches of strips of cotton that are sewn back together to create what I call the cocoon look.
Okay, Ronnie, I got to stop you there, okay? Cocoon.
Cocoon.
Okay, we're going to go there, okay?
Go there.
There's men, women all over the world that at times in our lives feel trapped, okay?
Right.
We feel like we're in this bubble and we're like stuck. And we need to be freed. The cocoon has to crack and we have to grow. We have to spread our wings. You, Ronnie, I'm sure at times you wouldn't have created a cocoon dress
Right.
if you didn't feel that at times maybe you were in a cocoon and you had to be free, or you knew members of your family that were in a
Right.
cocoon and to be free.
Right.
So what inspired you to create, I think, was it 30 designs you had?
For the women's collection.
Women's, yeah. I am like so honored to be wearing one of them. But I mean, okay, the next segment, we're going to get into your new collection of
Right.
sexy men's stuff. But before that, I want to get to how you got to
Sure.
that, okay? So if you want to share a little bit about, you had a fashion boutique in San
Yes,
Jose.
I did.
You got to give all that up, okay?
I did.
And even before that, I want to share with the world that Ronnie is about people. You're about
Yes.
sharing, community, nonprofit.
Right.
Okay, I want you to share a little bit right now about, okay, you go to college, you graduate, you decide to be a fashion designer.
Right.
Okay, right away, you're blessed, okay? You take off.
Right.
Lucky, okay?
I know.
But you give back. So where did you give back in your community, and how did that make you become who you were today?
Well, you always, when you're rewarded with blessings, you give back, because when you give back with what the blessings you received, it comes back twofold, 3 and 4 and 5. And I really honestly believe that that's how I've had a 25-year career in fashion. Now it's 26.
That's amazing.
Because you reward people back. For me, the idea of making people feel beautiful on the outside and on the inside is my way of giving back and contributing to other people by using the talent that I was so blessed by God to have. In regards to the cocoon, the idea of this particular dress was inspired by my mom. My mom always, I get emotional sometimes.
No,
I'm
it's
s-
okay. I know we love you, and
Yes.
I'm emotional too, so we're here for you.
Okay. My mom always supported me. She always said, you're Ronnie. You're going to be the biggest and the best. You're my creative baby. And she always watched me with this incredible glow on her face when I was the quote unquote the one doing it all. And I wanted to do homage to her by creating looks that were cocoons, because I believe that my mom or any woman wearing the cocoon dress, it's a cocoon in their arms and their face and their hair and their eyes and their lips, and their expression is like a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. And that was the whole idea of this collection. So yeah, I give back and give everybody the talent that I have in one way or the other, because to me that's what art is all about. Keeping it all in and drawing all the gifts inward without rewarding it back, that's not what life is all about for
No,
me.
it's about sharing
Exactly.
and giving
Exactly.
and your heart.
And your heart.
So you can be any fashion mogul in the world and not have a good heart, and you're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
But you, Ronnie, you have the heart, you have the desire, you have the inspiration, you have the style, you have the pizzazz, okay? And I see that in you. So you, Ronnie, go from childhood, you go to school, you have all these
Right.
creations, you're in a small town with one stoplight. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Nebraska with a little town in Silver Creek with one stoplight. We are meant to
It's
know
a
each
long
other.
way.
It's a long way. I have been there, done that. But you went from there to an amazing college, okay? You do the fashion, you're in the world, you're succeeding, your boutique, okay?
Yes.
What happened with the boutique?
It was a 25-year run, and the last 2 years of it were the boutique, the flagship.
Right, that's
And my
right.
business partner from the very beginning was there with me. We went all the way through it, side by side, and we we felt at the end of that 2-year run that we had done enough. It was literally 17-hour workdays for me. I was completely drained. I was completely exhausted. I mean, at that point, I was doing men's collections, women's collections, home collections, a children's collection, and it was never ending. And I realized that I was kind of, in a way, caught in this tornado of constant creativity, but I was so immersed in the whole wind of it all that I wasn't able to actually enjoy what was going on in my life. So I retired. I mean, I really decided it's time to say go and let go of Nigel. And I thought at the time it was going to be the
Okay.
last one.
But to let go of Nigel who? Your inspiration. Okay, you let go
I did.
after all that time.
I did.
But they say you need to let go sometime to see if it's going to come back. So you let go. Now, the point that you let go, had you already had loss? Or had
No.
that, okay, so you let go before, we're not gonna, that's the next segment, the
Right.
loss, okay? So you had your boutiques.
Right.
All is going good.
Right.
You mentioned children's. I had no idea you did
Yes,
children's
I did.
collection.
Yes.
So you had men's, women's, children, all of it.
I stocked an entire store, a complete entire store.
Okay, so you did all that.
Right.
And then you chose to say, I'm going to retire.
I met with my business partner. I explained to him where I was at in my life, what I needed personally outside of being professional, and the agreement was we did one last show at the San Jose Museum of Art.
Right, I wanna hear about
It was
that.
called the Frankenstein exhibit at the time.
Okay, Frankenstein.
Yes.
How do you come up with Frankenstein? That's Heart Frankenstein. Okay, let's keep going, and we're almost done with this segment, and we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna stop right now.
Okay.
Because we're gonna come back, because I wanna hear more, and you are listening to Nevada Matters Media, Fox News. I'm Debbie McCarthy. I'm here with my friend, fashion mogul designer, Ronnie Bogle of Nigel, who will be right back.